This is Vic's Financial Strategy, and today I want to have a conversation with you guys about the market, and I want to highlight one stock that could actually double in the near term. This is all speculation, but I have a couple sound theses on why that is. Of course, none of this is investment advice, ever. This is just entertainment purposes only, but let's just get into it. Today we're going to be talking about the company Upstart. This is ticker symbol UPST. This company has a couple good things going for it in the near term, or at least that's my prediction. Now, this conversation is going to be about short squeeze candidates in the new year. So we just started a new year. It's 2023. Trading day opens up tomorrow, the first trading day of the year. It's going to be Tuesday the 3rd. Today's the 2nd. And there's a couple things that can happen with stocks like Upstart. Upstart is going to be the highlight of today's video, but a lot of companies that have been short sold all of last year could have a similar price trajectory. So let's compare, let's just go over the thesis and then we'll compare charts. Now this stock IPO'd in 2020, towards the end of 2020, it ripped all up until 2021. For about a year, it was straight up. So this whole year it's been up and the whole year following has been down. What happened here? Well, this is a fintech company. This is a finance company. And with the changing rates from the Fed, we know that this was a market headwind for this company. And we see that in the stock price and we see it on earnings gap downs. So our first earnings gap down was here, earnings gap down. Go over here, we had an earnings gap up slightly. They must have had a beat on earnings only for that quarter. And then they had another earnings gap down. And then here on earnings, they just kind of traded sideways before heading lower. This stock went from 400 all the way to 13. And I think this is a prime candidate to short squeeze for two reasons. Let's go into the two reasons. My hypothesis is that because this stock has been short sold by big players, big institutional money, big hedge funds, I believe that from 400 to this price here that we see, a lot of short positions are still open. A lot of short positions are not closed. Why is that? Well, in the year 2021, when the whole market decided to turn over, we can speculate that maybe short sellers are adding here, and adding here, all in the year 2021. So this whole period from market top to the end of the year, which is right here, this is the end of the year, this whole period from here to here, short sellers are getting in. That is in the year 2021. And the whole year of 2022, so from this period here, from this period here and so forth, they were holding their position. Why is that? You benefit from holding a trade over a year for tax purposes. So once your trade has been longer than a year, you enter a lower tax bracket, long-term capital gains rather than short-term capital gains. Now remember, we just started a new year. The year is 2023, and I believe short sold stocks could squeeze as the positions close. Why is that? So if they're in profit all of 2022 and they are waiting for January to close out their position, it is the new year. Their gains are going to be booked in the year 2023. Now, short sellers or bears were up massively in 2022. So if they are up massively, they do not want to add to their tax bracket by closing out this position in the year 2022 and close out within under a year. But now that we have started 2023, they can close out their positions and book it for this year, and they have been holding for over a year. Now, this is specifically for short sellers that were adding the short position from the top to about the end of 21. Now, even short sellers that have been adding 2022 and shorted on earnings, they still could close out their position as well if things start to squeeze upwards. We saw a squeeze happen right here. We saw a move up from 14 to about 17. That's a big move. I'd say that's about 50, 60%, something like that. And then we saw the next day a move of 27% and 3 consecutive green days until we hit the trend line. Now I'll go into the charts in just a moment, but those are my two main reasons why this stock could squeeze and a lot of similar stocks to this. Okay, so that's my thesis here. Now let's look at the charts. We have respected the yellow trend line consistently. We had 1, 2, 3, 4 touches, and we could see a 5th touch. And if we look at that, that's from current price, 13. We can head all the way up to $15, $16. depending on how fast we get there and how fast we test. I think the charts look really great for a move up to trend line and potentially a break into key level. Our key level is going to be at 22. If we look at all this data from here to here and we turn on the VP indicator, the volume profile indicator, which is something I went into previously in another lecture, make sure you watch that. We look at and see that the most amount of volume is traded at in this zone right here. So this box I have drawn out, that is where a ton of volume is going to be traded, and I believe that we can test that area. So that's from 13 all the way to 22, 23. That's nearly 100% return on investment if you're going shares. Now, of course, I'm an options trader. I'm going to be looking to take call options here and try to play a move up to 22. But I think this is a good play. This could be a very interesting play in the new year. If we don't start off with a bang, then I'll close my position. I'm looking to add my position at market open, depending on how the pre-market moves. And then we'll look for short dated call contracts, maybe 32 days, 29 or 39 days, something like that. And if we briefly look at the candle formations here, we just look at the daily candles and we look at the formations, we see that it formed a doji here, and then it was followed up with 2 consecutive green days. If we were to compare that to the market, which is something you should always do, compare relative strength versus relative weakness and compare it to the SPY. Now, if we look at the SPY daily candles, it was the same pattern with the exception. I think we need to zoom in. Yes, it was a red day, green day, green day. Upstart was red day, green day, green day. But let's zoom in really quick. Let's look at the 30-minute candles. Let's zoom out and let's get a look at kind of what was happening these last 3 days of the year, last 3 trading days of the year. So we had, this was the red day, open here, closed here. Candle closed red. This is what a doji looks like when you zoom in. Very choppy. Then it was straight up, opened up lower, straight up again. Practically from here to here, it's been straight buying. From midday on the 28th to market close end of the year, it's been straight up. Now let's take a look at SPY. This is why you zoom in. Very similar, but different. Straight down, straight up, opened up lower, chopped around, almost made a new high. So no new highs made here. If anything, I would call this a red day, green day, chop day. This was our chop day. If we look at Upstart, it was red day, green day, green day. Now that's a divergence right there. If we were to look at Square, which is another fintech company, we see that it is very similar as well. Chop day, green day, opened up lower, finished green. I'd say the tech sector was a little bit stronger, or at least the fintech sector was stronger than the SPY on the final day. That's where you had that divergence. Now, that's a couple things looking at Upstart. I'm gonna wrap up the video here, but that is basically what I'm looking for on Upstart. I'm looking for upside only. I'm looking for a short squeeze for the previous reasons I went in. So remember, none of this is financial advice. Consider this just a conversation of what to expect and a prediction for the market. So happy trading, guys. Follow this channel for more. Make sure that you tune into other lectures. If you're new to options, check out our videos on call options, put options. Check out our video on the VP indicator. Now that will wrap it up. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for the next lecture.